It's hard to put expectations on how Canada, the 49th ranked team in the world, will face the Dutch, the 7th ranked team. But this will be Jesse Marsch's first game as the Canadian men's national team head coach. And both he and his team are going to try to find their footing at the start of the biggest international window the Canadian men have played outside of a World Cup in 20 years. On the other side, this is a big game for the Dutch, too, as they continue to tune up for the Euros. A few days ago, they lost late to Germany. And when I went to Dutch media availability earlier today, I asked manager Ronald Koeman what he's expecting out of the Canadian men. And he said he is as interested as anyone to see how Jesse Marsch's team is going to play.
Yes, we know that they have a new coach. It's a coach who did a lot of jobs in the Red Bull organization. And that means that they will play out of a lot of intensity in the game. About the system, we know that they can play out of 3 center backs, 5 defenders. They can play 4-2-3-1. We will see it tomorrow. We prepared to fight against them, and we know the qualities of them, and we show that to the players. And it's a serious, it's not a friendly, because we think it's a good preparation for the Euros, and we expect a difficult match against them.
We know that the opponents are difficult, and that it won't be always so easy to do exactly what we want to achieve in these matches, but we're trying to lay a foundation for certain things that we think are important and basics for how we want to build things moving forward, and we'll see who's able to apply them. And obviously a high-level game and against a really good opponent. But we'll be positive. We'll try to do some simple things right, try to be organized, and then to go after the game.
Yeah, everyone's excited. Everyone's is buzzing, about these 2 games and the competitions that are coming up. Yeah, the conversation in the locker room is just, they're all excited, like I said before. But we know it's a big step for us. We know that we have to come out here and perform. This I think it's the first time we're playing a European team, outside the World Cup. So we're going to see how we face against them. I mean, they're a great team, one of the best in Europe. And yeah, we're going to see how we match up against them.
Back with Matthew Scianitti. And Matthew, Jesse Marsch will finally get to see his team in action. So what kind of playing style can we expect to see from Canada's men when they face the Netherlands tomorrow night?
Ronald Koeman said it earlier in the Dutch media availability that Jesse Marsch is a product of the Red Bull coaching system. And what does that mean? Running and intensity, rinse and repeat. So if Canadians are seeing their national team running and being intense and especially communicating, they're going to be seeing a little bit of what Jesse Marsch and how he wants them to play. And I asked Alistair Johnston particularly about the shape that Jesse Marsch is expecting out of them. And he said if there is space between the defense, the midfield, and the forwards, particularly in this system, there's going to be a problem. But we know this team can score with Tajon Buchanan, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, even Alphonso Davies at times. But the defense has been such a concern. And Alistair Johnston said it's everyone's responsibility, but maybe even the forwards as well. If Canada is out of possession, then the forwards will lead that press to regain the ball. If you're seeing that running and that intensity, though, that's a little bit of what Jesse Marsch is going to want out of his team.
If how they play is about the details, give us the bigger picture. How important are these 2 games here against the Netherlands and France as Canada prepares for Argentina to open Copa America?
Massive. These games are massive. Outside of a major tournament, Canada hasn't had a slate of international friendlies like this for over 20 years. But even more importantly, how Jesse Marsch is going to evaluate his team. He spoke about it before this camp that everyone is on notice, that you might see names in this camp that you won't see at the Copa America. And maybe here's an example of it. Tani Oluwaseyi, who is a striker with Minnesota United, came into this camp late. So that's an indication that Jesse Marsch is willing to bring guys in, not only to see what other players will offer Canada, but maybe pressure some of the other players as well. But more than what he wants to see on the field, Jesse Marsch is looking to see what is motivating his team as well. Alphonso Davies, when he met with the media earlier today, he spoke about Jesse Marsch's questions that he asked Alphonso Davies before this camp. What does it mean to be Canadian to Alphonso Davies? How would he be a captain if he wore the armband? And how is he going to speak up more in front of his team? And Davies said those questions, and Marsh repeated them to Davies, left Davies thinking. So Marsh clearly isn't just wanting to see what he can get out of his team physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.